Welcome to People Doing Good for Others, where we praise and honor and celebrate those who are truly making a significant difference in our communities. I'm Gary York, and I'm grateful to be here with you today. We want to thank Wilkes Communications, River Street Productions, and WIFM 100.9. And my featured guest today is Ms. Kirsten Seatz. She's a staff member at Wilkes Community College. She's been there for 3.5 years, and she's playing a key role in helping youngsters get a toehold, if you will, about college and this community and mattering in significant ways. So good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. And tell us about coming from Ashe County and a little bit about getting to Wilkes Community College.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Ashe County, as you mentioned, and I thought, I always thought I would go to college. And so I applied to NC State and I got accepted there, and I went to orientation and hated it. Hated it, absolutely hated it. Campus was too big, I got lost. Orientation was really difficult. I found out I wasn't going to get any financial aid to help pay for school. I went by myself. My parents didn't go with me, anything like that. So I came back, kind of tail tucked between my legs, and actually enrolled as a student at Wilkes Community College in 2009 and did my associate's degree there. I was the first person in my family to go to college, ended up transferring to Appalachian and did my bachelor's, and actually started working at Wilkes Community College after I finished my bachelor's degree part-time, and then completed my master's degree, and now I'm full-time at Wilkes.
Is it also from your master's?
Yes, it is.
In the field?
My master's is in higher education, adult and developmental education with a concentration in English.
Okay.
So
have you taught?
Yes, I teach English. I teach at least one class a year.
Oh, you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy being in the classroom, and it's a different perspective than I get on a day-to-day basis working with students. So,
do you have? Is it literature or is it grammar or what
writing
do you teach?
Classes?
Writing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I teach English 111, which is the first college-level writing class that most students take at Wilkes Community College. I've also taught some technical writing classes. So.
Ms. Seatz, you do some other significant contributions to help people, and we're going to concentrate today about the area of SAGE, mm-hmm. and supporting academics and education. So tell us about that program, mm-hmm. and your involvement in it.
Yeah, so I work, my primary role at Wilkes Community College is working for SAGE, and that stands for Supporting Academic Goals for Education. We are a federally funded student support services program, and we fall under the TRIO umbrella of TRIO programs. And it started on our campus in 1979, so we're one of the older programs.
Okay.
And what we do, we serve students who are considered first generation, students who are considered low income, or students who have documented disabilities. And so coming from the background that I did as a first generation college student, and then also being low income, I really identify.
You have a connection.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I really have a connection with a lot of our students, and that's really what drew me towards the job to begin with.
Wow.
When I was looking to apply for it. But what we do, we offer different support services for students. So that might be tutoring, we offer scholarships, we do various types of advising. We really try to create a community at the college for students who may not have that support at home. So students whose parents maybe don't understand what they're going through, or who are living on their own, or maybe they are parents themselves and they need a little extra support.
Wow.
In being successful at Wilkes Community College.
A question there, what are maybe some barriers to overcome? Say a youngster, a young lady, a young man, what are some of the just key things that are confusing or challenging, if you will?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So thinking about my own story, where I went off to NC State, I wasn't ready. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to apply for financial aid. I didn't know how to navigate the campus. I didn't know what resources were available. And
if they were available, you just
Right.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so a lot of our students, even though maybe they're starting at the community college initially, they have those same struggles and barriers as well. They may not have a parent at home who can help them navigate, the application process, how to apply for financial aid, or how to finance college in general. They may not realize that financial aid is available. So some students have financial barriers. And then also a lot of our students work. They may be working full-time and going to school full-time. And they may also have children that they're, balancing, schedules for their kids as well as work. So there's several barriers that our students face. But they really, most of our students really take advantage of the services, and they excel. They absolutely excel once they're given the support that they need. And that other students might have anyway. A more traditional student may not be working full-time, and they may, have parents who have been to college, and they already have those supports. So we're just providing that extra little help for our students. So,
first of all, I think you have to be a great listener, and to bring that, to dispel that fear a youngster might have, and to get them to communicate, to have a conversation. How do you do that?
Yeah, so I think reassuring the students that reassuring them that they belong there. So some of our students will come in and, they may question like, well, what am I thinking? I'm, 50 years old. I've been out of college, for 30 years, or I've been out of high school, for 30 years. What am I even doing here? Or they may not have clear goals. Who am I kidding? I can't do this. And so
a lot of them think they can't do it.
Oh yeah,
do
absolutely.
They really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So kind of reassuring them.
Encouragement.
Encouragement.
Okay.
Reassuring them that they belong.
They belong.
You belong here. You can do this. You're not alone, in doing this, even though it may feel like it at times. You're not alone, and we're here to support you. And we try to come alongside our students where they're at. Now, some of our students come in.
Well, I like that. You go to them where they are.
Yeah, exactly. So some students come in and they're fresh out of high school, so they've just been doing school, so they come back and it's a little bit different because college is obviously tougher than high school.
Sure.
And so for those students, we try to help them understand the differences between high school and college. You're going to have more workload, you're going to have more responsibility. You can't put things off, you can't miss assignments because your instructors will just give you a 0 instead of asking you to make it up like your high school teachers might. So I think one of the main things that we do when we first meet our students is try to figure out where they are and what their needs are, and how we can kind of support them where they're at.
You mentioned that even college visits. Tell us about how that might work.
Yeah, campus visits are one of the most popular services that we provide, and so we, my colleague Kim, organizes those for our students, and students can go on as many campus visits as they like. So maybe a student's trying to decide between a program at NC State, a program at Chapel Hill, and a program at UNC Asheville. Okay, so they would have the opportunity to visit each one of those colleges for free. And then Kim sets up a meeting for them between someone in the department that they'll be transferring into. So let's say engineering.
So you schedule that whole day?
Mm-hmm. We schedule the whole day for them.
Provide transportation?
Provide free transportation, provide lunch.
Wow.
If it's necessary, so let's say we're going to UNCW, on the coast, we'll provide lodging and food. So we try to cover all the costs, because once again, some of these students are low income. So they may want to go visit a campus, but they may not have the means to take themselves. Or they may not know how to schedule that type of visit. So we try to take care of that for them. And all the students that go on the visits really talk about how valuable it is, and then it helps them see themselves at that college.
Okay.
Instead of doing
Right.
like a virtual tour or something online, they can really start picturing it, and then they start believing, like, I could really go here, I could really do this. Or they may realize, this isn't the college for me, and I'm going to keep looking for something that's a better fit. So.
Wow. Advising, counseling, tell us about the tutoring. I was really interested in a youngster might feel behind or left behind, and so then we have work study folks that work with youngsters that needing help.
Yeah, so we have, in our program, we have peer tutors who are students that we hire to tutor other students. And we also have professional tutors that we have hired and vetted and everything. But I really think our peer tutors are a huge asset because they have taken the class with a Wilkes Community College instructor. They've completed it successfully, and they've gotten a recommendation from that instructor. And so what they do, they meet with our students one-on-one twice a week for an hour each time, and they help the student have a deeper understanding of the subject. So a lot of the students who receive tutoring are those students who really want to do well. They have high goals set for themselves. Maybe they're trying to get into the nursing program or something like that, and they really need an A, or they really want to make a B, or they're concerned about a class that they're taking as far as doing well in it. And so we'll set them up with a tutor, and it's really a great relationship to see the student tutors as well as working with the students, because they'll share insights. Well, this instructor, they really want you to do it this way, and try to help coach the student as far as how to be the most successful that they can in the class. So,
Okay.
But we don't do homework and we don't do tests. Every student does their own work. Our tutors are just there to provide guidance, direction, and we really want our students to be independent learners. So tutors, once again, will provide resources, like, okay, go home, study with this resource, and then we're going to, do a practice test or something like that when you come back. But we don't do homework or anything like that.
Yeah.
All of our students do their own work. So.
Kirsten Seatz with the Wilkes Community College, the SAGE program, and that's supporting academics for, in some cases, first-generation students. I learned a new word from you, and I remember that. That commons area, the tables, is such an inviting environment. Would you share with us how do you achieve, how do you get that warm feeling in that area? Just talk about the role you play in being a humanitarian also, and a giver and a sharer, and how do you do that?
I think something that's unique, not just to SAGE, but to Wilkes Community College, is that it's an environment that's very welcoming for students. The staff and the faculty that work with our students, they typically want to be there. And I think, I've heard from multiple students that our campus is very friendly, and that instructors are very friendly and willing to help, as well as the staff. In SAGE, the 4 staff members that we have, John, Kim, Ginger, and myself, we try to greet every student. We try to make it feel like a home away from home, and not just with our tables and our furniture and our really comfortable chairs, which we just recently got. We got those last year, but but also with the attitude that we create and the environment that we create in the area. We really want to make students feel like it's their space, and that they can come there for whatever they need, whether it's a word of encouragement from one of the staff members, or if they're meeting with a tutor, or they're just having their lunch. We want them to feel welcome.
And you are serving 220 right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're funded.
Wow.
We're funded to serve 200 with our grant, and so we are serving about 220. So, and that's typical. We usually carry more students than we're funded to serve. So.
And you mentioned that Kim Perkins, a lady that I also met, that you kind of partner in this endeavor, if you will.
Yeah, well, all of the staff members, play a key role in
Okay.
SAGE. Kim is the educational advisor, so she meets with students for academic advising, transfer advising, if they're planning to go to a university. She also plans all of the campus visits. If we're doing any sort of cultural trips, she plans those as well. And she's just a key part of what we do in SAGE. Ginger and John are also key parts.
Okay. What'd you do this morning before you got here?
What did I do this morning? Let's see.
Give us some idea, just real things that happened there in the Sage area.
Okay. So the last 2 weeks we've been doing progress report meetings. So that's where we sit down with every one of our members. Well, we try to make appointments with each member, and we sit down with them for about 30 minutes, and we just check in, see how things are going in the middle of the semester. See if there's anything that our students need as far as tutoring or resources or direction, guidance, anything like that. So we've been holding those meetings. So this has been a very busy 2 weeks, probably our busiest each semester. And then during that time, our students can also qualify for our SAGE scholarship, and that's where they get the application. Is coming to that meeting. So we've been holding those meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big part of this morning. Another thing is just keeping clear records. That's
Okay.
kind of the less exciting part of it.
Yeah.
But since we're federally funded, we need to keep very
Sure.
precise records. So,
You should.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Accountability is an important part of all success.
Oh yeah, especially when you're funded by the federal government.
Yes,
So definitely want to be accountable. So also just meeting with students. I had a student come in, we're planning a trip on Saturday. We were talking about that. I'm taking a group of students to Appalachian for a leadership conference.
Tell us what'll go on that. Is it a day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll leave down here about 8, and the conference starts at 9. We'll probably finish up there around 3 and be back down here by 4. And that will be an opportunity for our students to, one, see a college campus if they haven't already been to Appalachian. And then 2, they'll participate in leadership development workshops. It's a good opportunity for them to network and then also kind of learn about other students'
Maybe a
experiences.
first-time visit for some of you youngsters that haven't been before.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
This could be the first time that they're seeing Appalachian State, or it could be the first time that they're going on a college campus at all. So
Wow.
that's not unusual for our students. So we're taking a small group on Saturday, but yeah, these campus visits and these different trips that we do, we really try to expose students to what's out there and what opportunities are available for them.
Kirsten Seatz, I want to talk about your food pantry.
Yeah.
How exciting and how wonderful it is to have that opportunity. Just how did it start and what do you do?
Mm-hmm. So the food pantry, we call it the Prowler Pantry, and it grew out of us noticing a need. So in SAGE, we serve first-generation college students as well as low-income students, and so considering that some students, are either living on financial aid or, maybe they're working part-time or they're working full-time, they may not have the means to pay for tuition and books, as well as food and gas and clothing and the things that their children need. So about a year ago, we noticed that we were seeing an increase in students coming to SAGE and saying that they were hungry, or maybe just making a comment in passing, like, oh, I didn't eat breakfast today, or, oh, I don't have anything for lunch. And so, and we weren't the only people that noticed that. Disability Services, which is another office on campus that we work closely with, they had noticed that some of their students were coming to campus hungry or didn't have lunch during the day, or they didn't have transportation to go get lunch. And so that sort of sparked an idea of starting, trying to look into the possibility of starting a food pantry on campus. And actually right now there's been an increase of colleges and universities offering food pantries for their students. And so we knew that this wasn't a problem just for our students, it's a problem across the board as far as colleges and community colleges. And so based on that, we formed a task force. You know, that's the way you get things done, right? You make a committee.
Sure.
And so that task force, you know, we had several members, you know, from different areas at the college, just areas where, you know, either they were concerned about student success or areas where they just really wanted to be involved. And, you know, Kim Perkins, John Canty, Angela Sherman, Kim Faw, Renee Macemore, Renee Billings, Marina Hannock, Lee K. Cornett, Emily Orr, Merritt Burke, Jenny Webb, and Julie Mullis. We sort of formed our task force, and we started looking at the possibility of what can we do to solve this problem. And so we met for several months, and then Marina actually brought up the idea of meeting with John Triplett, who runs Wilkes Ministry of Hope, and that was a huge blessing. That really kind of cracked the case. You know, I thought, you know, maybe we would talk on the phone and he would have some ideas for us, you know, since he runs these different pantries in the county. But he came on and he was just wholeheartedly for what we were doing and just really interested in partnering with the community college to support our students. And that really kind of opened up the possibility of starting a food pantry on our campus.
And when is it open?
It's open Monday through Friday, 10 to 1, and any student, any Wilkes Community College student with a valid student ID can access the food pantry. So we don't require them to apply, we don't require them to explain why they need to access the food pantry. You know, we just have it open for all students.
So if you recognize the need and said, we're going to do something about this, wow. So I was in the room, and you have is there a person in there, a counselor, a person all the time? And tell us about the number of items a youngster probably will get, and some of how it happens when they enter the door.
Yes, so when a student enters the food pantry, they're greeted by one of our work study students or a faculty staff volunteer. And so we do employ 2 students through work study money, which is a part of their financial aid. And so we're, you know, trying to create jobs on campus as well. And so the student is greeted, they present their student ID and they swipe it, and then they're able to access the pantry. We have 2 main shelves, and we also have a cooler with, you know, refrigerated items. And then there's a microwave in there as well, in case they want to heat their food up before they go back to class or before, you know, they eat it. And so, you know, really we try to create a welcoming environment there as well, because we don't want the students to feel, we don't want them to feel like they're less than, or like for, you know, they're looked down upon for using the food pantry. That's why we want it to be open to all students, because I don't know, you know, you coming in today, I don't know what you've been through. I don't know, you know, your situation.
Sure.
And so we don't want to assume, you know, that a student coming to the food pantry is any particular way. We just want it to be open to every student.
To draw attention to, you know, you want it to be everybody's involved.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And it may be that a student just doesn't have time between their classes to run to Wendy's and get something to eat.
Yeah.
You know, so they grab a pack of crackers or something from the food pantry, or maybe they didn't have anything to eat all weekend, and you know they come in Monday morning and they're, you know, they're hungry, and so it just depends on the situation. But for every student that comes in, they're greeted. We ask them to sign in with their student ID, and then they're able to get 3 to 4 items from the food pantry each day. So
the food is supplied by Mr. Triplett?
Yes, the majority of our food is provided through Wilkes Ministry of Hope, and you know, that would include things like crackers, granola bars, Pop-Tarts, you know, canned soup with a pop-top lid, something that the students can eat conveniently on campus, you know, and be able to microwave and enjoy that way.
Sure.
We do also purchase fresh food, so fruits, bananas, apples, oranges, as well as yogurt and cheese, string cheese in particular. Students love that, to kind of supplement what John
Sure.
brings us and provide a few extra options, healthier options.
And your staff also is involved with a paper drive or a condiment drive, if you will. Happened last Christmas, didn't it?
Yes, the faculty and staff, we sent out a request that they donate paper products such as bowls, spoons, plates, napkins, and we were just overwhelmed with the faculty staff response. They really met our needs as far as the pantry goes. Because students are using, we're using probably 40 bowls a day,
Sure.
40 spoons a day. So we definitely had a need there, and our faculty staff responded to that need.
Ms. Seatz, I want to thank our sponsors for this opportunity that I could be here and that you would want to be here and to share this experience and this hope, that this wonderful endeavor of lifting people at Wilkes Community College, and I thank you for that, and Wilkes Communications and River Street Productions and WIFM. You're such a genuine, encouraging lady, and I just can see people being drawn to, and Ms. Perkins, that folks feel good about it. They know that they are, that we're grateful to have the opportunity to help people, and that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So Wilkes Community College is a great, I see you and Wilkes being great partners. Just tell us about the gratification that you're receiving each and every day by coming here.
Absolutely. Well, they say, if you find something that you love doing, you don't work a day in your life. And that may be a little cliche, but when I walk into Sage and when I, am working with the food pantry, I'm just always so impressed by the students that we work with. These are students who, much like myself several years ago, whenever I was starting my education journey,
so you know how it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's students who they want more, they want more, and they are using education to try to get that. These students are determined, they're very driven, and they're very capable. Whether they're, a student who is coming in for tutoring, or they're a student who's coming in for academic advising, or if they're a student that's using the food pantry. They want to be there, and they deserve to be there. And so what we're doing with the Prowler Pantry, and then also separately in Sage, what we're doing is trying to provide that support. And it just, seeing students, they come in and they may be shy, or they may be uncertain, they may not have the confidence that they belong at Wilkes Community College, or that they can do college, and seeing them grow over the 2 years that we serve them, or the time that it takes for them to complete their degree, it's incredible. I've met students who, single parents, and who have experienced homelessness and things like that, and they've really overcome, and they've been able to move forward with their lives, and they've just, they'll hug you at the end of, whenever they're getting ready to graduate, and they'll thank you, and just explain, how helpful the program was. But really, our students make our program successful. We don't make our students successful.
Right.
The quality of student that we have is really what makes our program what it is. And we just really enjoy working with students, and I love it every day. So
I like to say that there is that of God in all of us, and we're to look for the good in people.
Yeah.
And I guess we can bring happiness in the lives of others by knowing and seeing and caring about the individual and the opportunity you have to serve. And it's what an honor to have you here, and I hope you'll come again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.